Hey gang, want to talk with you a little bit about how to buy a firearm in California. There's plenty of new gun owners every day in California and other parts of the country, but I still know that there's people out there that are in California that want to buy a firearm, but really don't understand the process or how and things like that. And there's so much word out there, some good, some bad. So let me help you understand how to buy a firearm in California and how, not to say easy it is, but the process isn't as daunting as perhaps it seems to be. So the first thing that you need to have before buying a firearm in California is something called a firearm safety certificate. A firearm safety certificate is nothing more than a piece of paper that says that you've passed a 30-question test about safe handling of firearms and a little bit of legalities, okay? Now, it's not a hard test. If you have a little bit of intelligence and practically can fog a mirror, then you can pass that test. It's not designed to trip you up. It's really just designed to ensure that you understand the safeties of handling a firearm. Now, any FFL, so Federal Firearms Licensed Dealer, can administer that test. Any certified instructor in the state of California can administer that test. So we at TRB can certainly administer that test. Or if you want to just go straight to your firearms dealer, you can typically take that test on the spot and then immediately purchase your firearm. It is minutes away from each other. So really easy test, and then you can go buy your firearm within minutes. Okay? So now you go to attempt to buy your firearm, you pick out the firearm. All you need to do is provide a little bit of documentation. So first of all, without a CCW, how do you buy that firearm? What you're going to need to bring, if you have a real ID with California, your real ID with a couple proofs of residency will suffice. So, for example, you have your real ID, and you can bring your vehicle registration which has your address on it, and maybe say a utility bill, okay? You bring those two pieces of documents with you to buy a firearm, and then you'll have the proper paperwork to do so. Now, let's just say you don't have a real ID in California and you still want to buy that firearm. Don't worry about it. Okay? What you're going to need to bring in addition is something proving citizenship. Okay? So you're going to need to bring something like a copy of your passport, your passport, the original passport with you, plus the other documents that I mentioned. So your passport, vehicle registration, and say a utility bill. Okay, so those are a couple things that you will need to have or bring with you to buy a firearm. If you have your CCW, then that helps streamline the process. It does not circumvent the background process, which I'll get to in a moment, but the CCW certainly allows you with your driver's license to bypass the proof of residency because it is proved, so to speak, on that permit. Now, whether you have your real ID or CCW or not, okay, you're going to have to complete something called an ATF Form 4473. That is just your information, your affidavit saying that you're not buying it for somebody else, and those kinds of things. Whether you are in California or any other state, everybody completes a Form 4473. Now, in California, you're then going to go ahead and complete the DROS process. This is all in the same date, same time. This is done within minutes at the shop. So your firearms dealer will complete the dealer record of sale. So basically the background check, that is done within a couple of minutes. Your information is sent up to the DOJ and FBI. It has come back saying that, yeah, there's nothing prohibiting this person from buying a firearm. And then the sale is able to proceed, at which point the dealer can take money for the firearm. Once that's done and those paperwork is signed, in California, your firearms dealer will keep the firearm for a matter of 10 days. I like to say that your firearms dealer is putting your firearm in gun jail. Okay, so you will have to then wait exactly 10 days down to the minute to then come back and release your firearm from gun jail. At that point, when you come back, You just confirm a couple things, and then you pick up your firearm and you leave with it. Okay, now in California, you cannot purchase more than one firearm every 30 days, particularly handguns. So that's just another point of note. So buying a firearm in California is certainly not that daunting. It's certainly not easy in the sense that you can bypass procedures and background checks, as that's not going to be done. But certainly it is not as crazy or as daunting as it would be. Now, there are other states where it's actually harder to buy a firearm than California, believe it or not. So those are a couple things about buying a firearm in California and how that might be able to help you. If you have any questions about buying guns in California, certainly reach out to us. And certainly if you're going to buy a firearm in general, please, 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 please get training with it, because there's nothing worse than owning a gun and not knowing how to use it safely. So if you need training, want training, come talk to us. We'll be glad to help you out.
Like this video? Be sure to register and sign up for our next CCW class, and we look forward to training with you.